We learned this week that the State of the Union is...
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much.
Interminable. We learned that US President Donald Trump can correctly claim to have earned at least one honour, i.e. the title of deliverer of the longest State of the Union address on record. His 108 minutes at the lectern, easing past the 99 minutes put up by President Bill Clinton in 2000. Tempting to say shame there isn't a gold medal or gaudy trophy for this, but it's at least an even bet that by the time you hear this, there will be. Am I right? Anyway, we learned, greatly to our disappointment, if we're honest, we were kind of banking on the State of the Union to write this edition for us, that on this occasion Trump stuck mostly to the script. We did, however, get briefly excited by this, i.e. a caller to a program on C-SPAN introducing himself as a voter dissatisfied with a recent Supreme Court judgment and identifying himself as John Barron, which listeners with a command of recent and stupid American history may recall was the alias President Trump adopted during the 1980s when he was pretending to be his own publicist, and who had a somewhat familiar tone to both his voice and his vocabulary.
Well, this is John Barron, and this is the worst decision you ever have in your life, practically. Jack's going to agree with me, right? But this is a terrible decision. And you have Hakeem Jeffries, he's a dope, and you have Chuck Schumer, who can't cook a cheeseburger. Of course these people are happy.
But we learned that C-SPAN was at pains to insist that the caller was not who viewers may very well have assumed it was, although we were at least reminded of the somewhat melancholy fact that Trump actually named his youngest and tallest child after his imaginary employee. So we learned that we would be compelled to search elsewhere for material, a quest that took us as far afield as India, where we did at least discover that we could employ the linking device of monotonous din droning on and on and on far past the tolerance of the sane. For we learned that the residents of one swish neighbourhood of Mumbai are approaching the end of their wits and or tethers as a consequence of local authorities having had what may well be the worst idea in all of human history, i.e. engineering grooves into the seafront boulevard, imaginatively named Coastal Road, so that when vehicles drive over them at certain speeds, a tune is emitted. The specific tune being the one playing in the background now, i.e. Jai Ho, from the soundtrack of Slumdog Millionaire. Here is what that sounds like when rendered by Tata Wheel on asphalt. We learned that those within earshot are being subject to this racket more or less all goddamn day, every goddamn day. Yes, they're being driven to distraction. They're tired of it. They're feeling deflated. Like they're in a rut.
Come on. Just get on with it.
All right, settle down. On more or less the same continent-ish, we learned that Thai police had either mounted an ingenious undercover operation or merely sought to liven up an otherwise routine arrest to enhance station morale, give everyone a fun story to tell at a Christmas party, whatever. Hard to say. We learned that Bangkok's finest had determined, for reasons somewhat opaque to us at time of broadcast, that the best means of apprehending a particular miscreant was to join a parade commemorating Lunar New Year festivities and while actually wearing one of the feline-themed costumes in which revellers suit up on such occasions. Claw enforcement, is that anything? We learned, however, that the unorthodox approach had worked, which I'm sure we can agree is the main thing.
For Christ's sake.
and that the streets of Bangkok had been safe-ened, if that even is a word.
It isn't.
To the tune of one ne'er-do-well. Seriously, do you know when this guy ever did well?
Ne'er.
Quite right. We just have to hope he doesn't try lion under oath. For Monocle Radio, I'm Andrew Mueller.